Good evening, everyone. I'll call the City Council to order at 8 p.m. on Monday evening, April 28th, 2025. This meeting is being recorded. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have 21 items on this evening's agenda, and I will ask the city clerk to please read agenda item number 1.
Minutes of the City Council meeting, April 14th, 2025.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and place on file the minutes.
Motion made and second to accept and place on file the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The meeting minutes are filed. Votes 9-0. Agenda item number 2.
Now is the time for the public hearing on the application for special permit from 27 Curtis Ave LLC for the proposed renovation and reconstruction of a pre-existing non-conforming car wash located at 27 Curtis Avenue, order number 25-100, 9397.
Okay, this public hearing was taken up in 4 stages. First, with the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. Second, questions from the public. Third, public speaking in opposition. And fourth, questions from the council. I'll ask the applicant to come on up and describe his project. Again, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Nick Gialusis, 27 Curtis Ave, Marlboro.
Okay, you want to tell us about your project?
Sure. Would it be possible to show any slides or?
It would have if you had them to us ahead of time.
Okay, sorry.
There's no way to transfer those that quick, right?
It'll take me a few minutes.
How about we'll call a 2-minute recess? Back in session at 8:05, and this is the public hearing for Curtis Ave Car Wash, 27 Curtis Ave, the car wash, and we are at the portion of the public hearing with the public speaking in favor, starting with the applicant. Nick, I'll turn it over to you.
Appreciate it, thank you. And sorry for that inconvenience, everybody, but glad we were able to work it out. So we are here for the current car wash at 27 Curtis Ave. We are looking to demolish it and rebuild an existing car wash with the same number of bays. The reason that we want to demolish the existing wash rather than just renovate it is to basically improve the site in every conceivable way. If you don't mind changing to the next slide. And so what's behind me is the existing conditions plan. You'll see that for purposes on the screen, the right side of the wash actually encroaches on the setback. There's no green space, and traffic enters.
Yeah, Nick, you want to keep the microphone just so the folks at home can hear you.
Thank you. Thank you. And so the current wash encroaches on the side setback. It actually goes over a city easement. And also the curb cut is one massive curb cut that runs the whole frontage of the property and allows traffic to sort of be a free-for-all. There's 3 vacuum islands and a sign, and so traffic just sort of squeezes its way through, and there's no rhyme or reason to how the traffic enters or exits, because all the bays are open on both sides, so no one pulls in and backs out. They will pull in and then exit in either direction. The other challenge with this site, which isn't really demonstrated here, is a lot of people coming to the car wash actually use what is not our property to drive up and around to make this turn to come through the bays this way. So a lot of traffic actually enters from the other street above and comes down this lot and comes on from the side. So there's a lot of things wrong with this property, so we felt this was a great opportunity to actually make it more conforming. Actually, if you don't mind going to the next slide, which brings me to what we have proposed. And so the biggest takeaways here are redirecting traffic. And the biggest way we're going to do that is actually put in some green space, of which there is none currently, to divert the traffic to a one-way in, one-way out pattern or flow. And so the idea here is that we could also contain all the traffic on our site. Because right now, if our neighbor decided to put up a fence right here, it would be incredibly difficult, almost impossible for a car to squeeze through this little gap, which is only about 10 feet, to actually stay on our property and make this swing in one motion to get into the existing wash. And so the reason we designed it this way is that should anything happen with our neighbors, either rear or to the side, we can contain all the traffic on our site. So the new traffic flow would be the cars come and enter from the side into each of the bays, and then they would exit, and there's a 27.5 foot space between the exit and the property line, which is more than enough room for a car to turn out of a 16-foot wide bay and enter the street. The other thing is we took a lot of things into consideration, another one being life safety. So what happens if a fire truck needs to get into the building or to the building or around the building, and every single bay is full with a car and they can't get out for some reason? We actually have enough room for emergency vehicles to loop all the way around the entire lot. So the idea is that there's never a point in time where traffic is blocked or gets stuck queuing and they can't turn around and leave. So if you're in this line of traffic and you decide you don't want to leave, you're not going to back up. You're going to move to the left, get out, and go around the building and leave. Actually, if you don't mind going to the next slide, please. And so this is a comparison of the existing conditions to what's proposed side by side. It makes it a little, I'm in the way. It makes it a little easier to see. So right now, again, on the property line, outside the setback, over an easement, traffic is a free-for-all. Here, you can see that the new building is sort of a zigzag in design to actually conform to what the, I guess, the by right setbacks would be. We've also added designated parking spaces, which would also be the vacuum stations. There'd be 4 vacuums here. So we'd be eliminating 2 of those to reduce noise, to reduce the amount of trash, to reduce anything that would be considered not, what's the word I'm looking for here? Less than desirable. And so, again, the whole point of this was to take a car wash that's dated, that's dilapidated, that's falling down, that has an erratic traffic pattern, that's sitting over a city easement, that predates any sort of zoning bylaws, and make it conform to everything in the best way that we could. If you don't mind going to the next slide, please. And so this is just the elevations. So we consider this to be the front. The front would be facing the left side of the screen. The rear would be what you see when you're exiting. The right side elevation is actually what would be facing the street, and the left side elevation is what would be facing the lot behind us or above you on the screen. If you don't mind going to the next slide, please. And so a very elementary looking architectural design, just because there really isn't too much to it. It would just be masonry block with a wood-framed roof to keep some of the equipment out of the elements during the wintertime. But basically 2 self-service bays and 2 in-bay touchless automatics, a little office for staff with a bathroom, and then the pump room. And that's pretty much it.
All set, Nick?
That's it.
Any other members of the public speaking in favor? Any other member? Come on up. State your name and address for the record.
Sure thing. Can you hear me all right? Jim Waterman, 223 East Main Street, Marlboro. I'm Jim Waterman. I'm with Washville Car Wash. We're working to develop 223 East Main Street into a new automated car wash location. I'm here to speak in favor of the project at 27 Curtis Avenue. We believe that Marlboro market is underserved with professional modern car wash facilities. We believe that the Curtis Ave project here will also offer the public an updated, efficient, and environmentally friendly option for a professional self-service car wash. This upgrade is to a long-standing location, which will give those who prefer to wash their cars themselves an improved operation, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Since Curtis Ave will remain a self-service car wash, it will meet the demand of the multiple washing options available here in Marlboro. Curtis Ave is a location known to the public as a car wash for many decades and deserves the opportunity to be revitalized and made into a modern destination for car wash customers. Their offering, although very different from what we're proposing at our project, it will help meet the demand that we believe exists here in Marlboro for professional car washing. Washville does not provide a self-service car wash operation, so we're glad that this option will remain in place at Curtis Avenue. We look forward to being good neighbors with the Curtis Ave Car Wash, and since we offer extremely different experiences, we think the Marlboro market will benefit greatly. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Any other members of the public speak in favor? Any other members of the public speak in favor? Any other members of the public speak in favor? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Get a name and address.
Michael Wheeler, 223 East Main Street. My question just has to do with what happens with the wastewater, how that's going to be managed. Is it recycled? Is it how are you currently doing it now?
Well, as of right now, there's a trench drain in the rear of the building, which doesn't make any sense because everything pitches forward towards the street. We have not finalized, our engineering plans yet. Obviously, we'd like to see an approval or a vote in favor of before we finalize it. That being said, to bring everything up to modern state-of-the-art standards with oil water separators and all the appropriate drainage, and more importantly, to try to contain as much of the stormwater runoff that we can, is the ultimate goal.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Any other questions from the public? Any other questions from the public? Any questions from the public? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Public speaking in opposition. Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Members of the public speaking in opposition? Any members of the public speaking in opposition? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing. Questions from the city councilors? Councilor Vital.
Thank you, Mr. President. Gentlemen, how long has, I grew up in town, and I think this establishment's been here since I can remember. How long have you been in business?
This has been here since the 70s? Before I was alive.
A long time, so it's about time to renovate.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Vital. Any other questions from the councilors? Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good evening. Quick question, you mentioned an easement on the property. I'm very familiar with the property, so I'm thinking that you do have easements going into that location. Will you be looking for any additional easements to get that location up and built?
No, actually, the intention is to take it off of an easement.
That's what I thought I heard. Okay.
Right, and so the easement that's there, if you had, I believe it's a sewer easement for the city, and if you needed to maintain it or do work, you would actually have to go inside our building and destroy it. Okay. So the idea is to move the building completely off the easement.
It would make a better build out for you. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor Irish. Councilor Facillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a quick question. I'm sure we'll cover this in urban affairs as well, but I noticed in the plans you have 4 parking spots that will be for the vacuum use. Are there going to be any other parking spots in the plan, and where would those be located?
So there's nothing designated right as of right now. The idea was to leave enough room to put a parking spot out front for staff, but that has not been finalized yet.
Gotcha. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Facillo. Any other questions from the councilors? Questions from the councilors? Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. So this is in Urban Affairs where you will be heading next. I know this went to site plan, and then site plan was what caused you to come to us because you're pre-existing non-conforming. We haven't seen these plans, so is it possible for you to get them to the city council through the city clerk can make sure that those get forwarded to, so that we have a chance to peruse them a little more than seeing them on the screen tonight, and we can have them.
I did submit a number of paper copies before.
I
You
thought
did?
they came through on the
I
paper.
went through all of my stuff and I couldn't find them, but maybe I just need to go back and look for them.
If not, I'm sure the city clerk will email the package that Nick's provided us this evening.
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought it came with a special permit application.
I printed like 22 copies or something.
All right, then I must have it somewhere. Among all my
all
other
right.
papers, I looked in a hurry to make sure that I brought it tonight, and all I could find was what was on the agenda. So it's got to be this. So thank you, then, if everybody has that. We will be seeing you at a future Urban Affairs meeting.
Any other questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Questions from the city councilors? Hearing none, I close that portion of the public hearing and the entire public hearing, and this matter is before the Urban Affairs Committee. Nick, guys, thank you very much. Have a good evening. You tell me when you're ready.
Ready.
Agenda item number 3.
Communication from the mayor regarding a grant acceptance in the amount of $2,600 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security awarded to the fire department for the fiscal year 25 Senior Safe Program to promote fire safety to Marlborough senior citizens.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion made and seconded to approve the grant. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The grant is approved, 9-0. Agenda item number 4.
Communication from the mayor regarding grant acceptance in the amount of $7,200 from the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security awarded to the fire department for the fiscal year 25 SAFE program to be used for fire safety education for our students and community through open houses and fire and safety awareness initiatives. Excuse me.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to approve the grant, please.
Motion's made and seconded to approve the grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The grant is approved, 9-0. Agenda item number 5.
Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $581,007 from free cash to short-term interest to cover the interest payment on a bond anticipation note.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee.
Motion's made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item is going to Finance, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 6.
Communication from the mayor regarding a transfer request in the amount of $4,187,233 from free cash to the Healthcare Trust Fund to cover a projected deficit.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion's made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to Finance. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 7.
Communication from the mayor regarding capital transfer request in the amount of $4,351,873 from free cash to address critical needs identified by the Police Department, Information Technology Department, and the Department of Public Works.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion's made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Going to Finance. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 8.
Communication from the mayor regarding fiscal year 26 capital bond request in the amount of $15,550,000 pursuant to the capital improvement plan to fund a range of facility, utility, and street improvement projects undertaken by the Department of Public Works.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to refer to the Finance Committee, please.
Motion made and seconded to refer to the Finance Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to Finance. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 9.
Communication from City Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding an application for amendment to special permit from 339 Boston Post Road, owner LLC, to modify a condition of an existing special permit to alter the language relative to certain traffic calming measures at 339 Boston Post Road East in proper legal form, order number 25-100-9354B.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to accept and place on file the communication from the the city solicitor and to refer the special permit to item 21.
Motion's made and seconded to move this item down to agenda item number 21 and accept and place on file the communication from the solicitor. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to be moved down to agenda item 21 and filed. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 10.
Communication from Assistant City Solicitor Jeremy McManus regarding proposed ordinance to add to Chapter 250 Animals, a new section relative to second-generation anticoagulant rodenticides, SCARs, in proper legal form, order number 25-100-9383A.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Could I have this clerk please read that again? I'm just kidding. I would like to move to accept and place on file the communication and move the item to number 20.
Motion's made and seconded to move this item down to agenda item number 20 and accept and place on file the communication from the Assistant Solicitor. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It is going to be moved down to agenda item number 20 and filed, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 11.
Communication from the Retirement Board regarding notice of a meeting to be held May 27, 2025, to consider a cost of living adjustment pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Section 103I.
Councilor Irish.
Thank you, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the communication, please.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept and place on file the communication. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item is being filed, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 12.
Communication from Flying Dreams Brewing Company, LLC, regarding a request to expand outdoor seating to use parking spaces on Rollins Avenue, adjacent to the existing sidewalk seating.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to send this item to the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to L&L, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 13.
Communication from James Hall on behalf of Colbia Enterprises, LLC, regarding a request pursuant to Chapter 342, gasoline stations and car washes, for permission to continue operation at the hours granted at 342 Boston Post Road East.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm going to move to extend the order to allow operation from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. for order number 24-100-9206 for 1 year.
Motion made and seconded to extend the hours for an additional year. That means they'll come back in another year and ask for another extension. Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The extension for an additional year is granted, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 14.
Application for a wireless special permit from Jerry Squires on behalf of Dish Wireless to install, operate, and maintain a wireless communication facility consisting of 9 antennas, 12 RRUs, 12 fiber cables, and ground equipment within a 100-square-foot lease area on and next to the water tank at 115 Onamog Street.
Councilor Ficillo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Refer to the Public Services Committee, set a date for public hearing, and advertise.
Motion's made and seconded to refer this item to the Public Services Committee. We'll set a public hearing for June 9th, is it? June 9th. and will advertise. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to public service with a June 9th public hearing and advertised. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 15.
Application for a special permit from Attorney Gemma Cashman on behalf of TV Marlboro LLC and Green Armory Laboratories, Inc. for the purpose of operating an independent marijuana testing laboratory to be located at 260 Cedar Hill Street.
Councilor Roby.
Sorry, trying to get up. Move to refer to Urban Affairs, set a public hearing date for June 9th and to advertise.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the Urban Affairs Committee. We'll set a public hearing for June 9th and advertise. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? It carries. This item's going to Urban Affairs with a June 9th public hearing and advertised, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item 16.
Application for a special permit from Attorney Gemma Cashman on behalf of Royal 401 Elm Street LLC for the purpose of operating an approximate 203,500 square foot warehousing and distribution facility to be located at 415 Elm Street.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to refer this item to Urban Affairs to set a public hearing for June 9th and advertise.
Motion made and seconded to refer this item to the Urban Affairs Committee. We'll set a public hearing for June 9th and advertise. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? This item's going to Urban with a June 9th public hearing and advertise, and the vote is 9-0. Agenda item 17.
Minutes of boards, commissions, and committees.
Mr. President.
Councilor Doucette.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Motion to accept and place on file the minutes of the boards, commissions, and committees.
Motion made and seconded to accept and place on file all the minutes. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The minutes are filed. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item 18.
Claims.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to send the claims to legal department.
Motion made and seconded to send the claims to the legal department. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The claims are going to legal. The vote is 9-0. Reports of committees. Who wants to go? Councilor Irish has got his hand up first.
Thank you, Mr. President. Finance Committee met on April 23rd, 2025. Meeting convened at 6:30 p.m. We had 7 items on the agenda that evening. First order number was 25-100-9408. Communication from Mayor, transfer of $784,320 from Economic Development to MEDC funding for the FY 2026 operating budget of MEDC, and a transfer request in the amount of $150,000 from Economic Development to MEDC funding for the Economic Development Toolbox. On a motion by Councilor Facillo, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the MEDC FY 2026 operating budget in the amount of $784,320. The vote carried 4-1. Councilor Orem opposed. On a motion by Councilor Brown, seconded by the chair, the committee recommended approval of funding the $150,000 for the toolbox. Vote carried 5-0. Item number 2 is order number 25-100-9409. Communication from Mayor, MWRA lead loan program, bond request in the amount of $750,000 to replace galvanized and brass water surfaces pursuant to new Mass DEP regulations. Councilor Naving left the chamber. On a motion by Councilor Vital, second by the chair, the committee recommended approval of the bond. Vote carried 5-0. Next item was order number 25-100-9411. Communication from Mayor, proposed ordinance amendment to the City Code, Chapter 125, Personnel, Section 6, salary schedule of the part-time assistant electrical and plumbing inspectors. On a motion by Councilor Brown, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the increase to the hourly rate for the part-time assistant electrical and plumbing inspector to not to exceed $40 per inspection. Vote carried 5-0. Next order was 25-100-9406. Communication from the mayor, transfer of $147,581.95 from reserve for salaries to various accounts to fund the collective bargaining agreement with the Police Commander Officers Association, Local 366. On a motion by Council Vital, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer in the amount of $147,581.95. Vote carried 5-0. Next item was order number 25-100-9407, communication from the mayor, transfer in the amount of $167,302.32 from reserve for salaries to various accounts to fund a cost of living adjustment, COLA, and stipend for all non-union employees. On a motion by Council Orm, second by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer in the amount of $167,302.32. The vote carried 5-0. Next item was order number 25-100-9404, communication from the mayor, grant acceptance in the amount of $450,000 awarded to the City of Marlborough for various projects as outlined in the mayor's letter as part of the fiscal year 2025 state budget earmark funding. On a separate motions, the committee took the following actions. $30,000 for security cameras at the public housing, vote carried 5-0. $75,000 for temporary speed bumps, that was voted on and approved by 4-1. Council Vital opposed. $35,000 for the Galone Park Pavilion. That has been postponed. Vote carried 5-0. $50,000 outreach vehicle as a mobile city hall. That vote was 5-0, postponed. $35,000 for the dog park. That approval was on a vote of 5-0. $25,000 for the boiler at City Hall to be used for the Walker Building boiler. That was approved 5-0. And $200,000 for the MEDC shuttle. That was approved on a vote 5-0. Next item was order number 25-100-9405, communication from the mayor, transfer of $63,600 from reserve for salaries to various accounts for salary and sick leave buyback for the mayor's office and police department. On a motion by Council Orm, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends approval of the transfer in the amount of $63,600. The vote carried 5-0. Meeting adjourned at 8:01 p.m. Mr. President, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Councilor Irish.
And one last order of business, if I don't forget, Mr. President, on a public service announcement, the Finance Committee will be meeting on May 1st, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Thank you.
6:30 or 6?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Any other reports of committees? Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee met on April 23rd, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. And we took up one order number 25-1009414, communication from City Solicitor Jason Grossfield regarding procedure to fill vacant Ward 7 councillor position. The chair read the letter from City Solicitor Grossfield setting forth state law in the city's Plan B form of government, as well as historical research provided by City Clerk Kerrigan, more specifically 2 instances in which a vacancy occurred before the last 6 months of the term of office in 1995 and in 2003. The solicitor further noted that a municipality may seek special legislation to affect only the municipality in accordance with Section 8(1), the Home Rule Amendment in the Massachusetts Constitution. Local approval by the mayor and city council of a home rule petition to seek special legislation is required. A home rule petition requests the adoption of legislation by the legislature for a purpose and often includes draft legislation. Should the City Council wish to seek to obtain special legislation, the City Solicitor can assist in drafting of a home rule petition. City Clerk Kerrigan addressed the options, explaining the timeline associated with having a preliminary special election and final special election, while simultaneously holding a preliminary municipal election and final municipal election, as the confusion that the two would present to voters, especially with early voting and mail-in ballots. I just got confused reading that, so I could see why. After a lengthy discussion, it was a consensus of all councilors present that the city should obtain special legislation to appoint an individual to fill the Ward 7 City Council seat rather than hold a special election to fill the current vacancy. On a motion by Councilor Roby, seconded by the chair, the committee recommends the city solicitor be requested to draft a home rule petition to waive Chapter S.59A, requiring a special election to fill the vacant ward councilor seat, and further to authorize the city council to immediately appoint the winner of the regular municipal election to fill the unexpired Ward 7 city council seat. The vote carried 3-0, and the meeting adjourned at 6:15 p.m. I will be asking for a suspension.
Chairs ask for suspension of the rules. All those in favor of the suspension? Opposed? Suspension carries. Votes 9-0. Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to send this item to the solicitor to draft a home rule petition.
Motion made and seconded to send this item to the solicitor to draft a home rule petition. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. The vote is 9-0. This will go to the solicitor to draft a home rule petition. Any other reports of committees? Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to report that Urban Affairs will also be meeting on May 1st at 6:30.
Urban Affairs, May 1st, 6:30. Any other reports of committees? Hearing none. Agenda item 19.
Order number 25-100-9394, the draft open space plan for public review and comment on behalf of the Open Space and Recreation Committee, and the recommendation of the Open Space Committee is to file.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to file the draft open space plan.
Motion made and seconded to file the draft open space plan. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The draft open space plan is filed. The vote is 9-0. Agenda item number 20.
Order number 25-100-9383A, proposed ordinance to add to Chapter 250 Animals, a new section relating to rodents. Recommendation of the Legislative and Legal Affairs Committee is to approve as amended.
Councilor Brown.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to advertise the ordinance and place the item on our May 19th council agenda.
Motion's made and seconded to advertise the ordinance and place on our May 19th council agenda. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? The item carries 9-0. It'll be advertised and will appear on our May 19th agenda. Again, votes 9-0. Agenda item 21.
Order number 25-100-9354B, special permit modification to amend a condition of an existing special permit relative to certain traffic calming measures for the multifamily residential development at 339 Boston Post Road East. Recommendation of the Urban Affairs Committee is to approve as amended.
Councilor Roby.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move the recommendation of committee to approve.
Motion's made and seconded to move the recommendation of the committee. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, I will ask the clerk to read the conditions, and this will be a roll call vote.
The City Council, pursuant to its authority under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, and the zoning ordinance of the City of Marlborough, hereby grants the applicant an amendment to delete condition number 8C of the original special permit in its entirety and inserting in its place the following condition number 8C. In addition to the planned improvements to Route 20, the applicant shall, in coordination with Mass DOT and the Engineering Division of the Department of Public Works, make the following traffic calming improvements in the vicinity of the site. Rectangular rapid flashing beacons at the proposed crosswalks over Route 20 in the vicinity of the site. In lieu of the previously required radar speed signs on the southern side of Route 20 to the west of Victoria Lane and a radar speed sign on the northern side of Route 20 to the east of Village Drive within 30 days of the expiration of the appeal period applicable to the decision of the amendment to the special permit, the applicant, its successors, and/or assigns shall provide a payment to the city in the amount of $25,000 to be used by the city council or its designee for the future installation of radar speed signs by the city, if Mass DOT approves such installation in the future, or for other transportation safety improvements in the vicinity of the site. Said payment shall be deposited into the McGee Farm Mitigation Stabilization Account, All other conditions of the original special permit shall continue in force and effect and are incorporated by reference as part of this decision. And finally, in accordance with the provisions of Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 48, Section 11, the applicant, its successors, and/or signs shall at its expense record this decision on the special permit amendment in the Middlesex South Registry of Deeds after the city clerk has certified that the 20-day period for appealing this special permit amendment has elapsed with no appeal having been filed. Upon recording, the applicant shall forthwith provide a copy of the recorded special permit amendment to the city council office, the building department, and the city solicitor's office. Yeah, I know.
Okay, councilors, you heard the conditions. Any additional discussion on the motion to approve the special permit change? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk to read the roll, and the vote on yes is in favor of the permit change.
Councilor Roby.
Yes.
Councilor Irish.
Yes.
Councilor Brown.
Yes.
Councilor Vital.
Yes.
Councilor Preciado.
Yes.
Councilor Doucette.
Yes.
Councilor Navin.
Yes.
Councilor Ossing.
Yes.
Councilor Oram is absent. And Councilor Fucillo.
Yes.
9 yea, sir.
The motion to approve the special permit change to the 339 Boston Post Road East, Condition 8C, is approved by a vote of 9 in favor, 0 opposed. Councilor Navin.
Move to adjourn.
Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? We are adjourned at 8:40. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.